Okay, it's time to commit. 2024 is the year for prioritizing yourself. Begin your new smile journey with Byte, and you could start seeing results in just 2 to 3 weeks. Just order your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95 at Byte.com. Byte clear liners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces, plus they offer financing options, accept eligible insurance, and you could pay with your HSA, FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
Forget one-size-fits-all diets. With Noom, you get a personalized weight loss plan that's tailored to your lifestyle. Have cravings? Food FOMO? Noom can help you lose weight while still enjoying your favorite foods. Noom's users love the flexible approach, blending psychology and biology to help you lose weight in a way that's sustainable for you. Plus, you can rest assured Noom's approach is grounded in science. They've published more than 30 peer-reviewed scientific articles describing their methods and effectiveness. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com.
Better way, better way. Hey, better way, better way. Better way, better way. Hey, what will you choose today? Hey. Welcome to our podcast, A Better Way Road. What choice will you make? What road will you take? I'm your very grateful host, Telda. I believe that there's a crisis of crime due in part to a crisis of choice. We come together on a better way road to help in navigating the journey of choice making in a judgment-free lane. We're sharing the stories of people who are finding a better way. Now, we're not experts. Any advice or opinions are solely the pathways of our guests. So buckle up, pack some snacks, and let's begin our trip up a better way road. And talk it out together about a better way, better way. Better way, better way. Better way, better way. I'm so proud of you, 'cause you choose a better way. Okay, and welcome to A Better Way Road, where we learn to travel and make great decisions together with awesome, outstanding guests who have been a little bit further down the road and can look back and give us some great advice, like our only Mr. Darnell Scott. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today. I love it. Thank you.
Yes, and I always say folks can be doing a lot of different things with your time and your energy, but you chose to be with us today, and to that I am very grateful. Now, Mr. Darnell Scott is with an organization called 100 Cameras, 100 Kids. And I was just so intrigued by that concept. I thought, well, I've got to learn a little bit more about that. You are actually teaching children to monetize, to actually earn an income with professional cameras. I think that is outstanding. I want to explore with you that road and find out your why. You started off and you told me a wonderful story about how as a child you wanted to take pictures, which wonderful. You found your purpose early on. But you said you took thousands of pictures without a camera using your imagination. Please tell me more about that.
Yeah, just like it sounds, I had this vision. When I was in school, I used to draw a lot.
Okay.
A young man seen me drawing in college. He said, "You still draw with a pencil?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Have you ever heard of Photoshop?" Now, I'm all the way in college right now, but the first time I seen it was when my family would get together and they would have those little cameras and take the picture. Then they would go to a place called Hooks.
Yes.
Get them developed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
now
that was before CVS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Called
yes.
Hooks.
Yes. So that was the vision I seen. I seen that so many times. I seen everybody would get happy for a second, and they would look and they would smile, even if it was fake. And it was just that little moment of them smiling. I was attracted to that.
Wow.
I was attracted to that. So that's what kind of brought me into the idea that being a photographer would be a cool thing.
Wow. And
Yeah.
see, again, as a child, we never know what's in the mind of a child. You observed that brought you joy to see, even if for just a moment, joy, and set you on your path to what was to become.
Yes.
Wow. Well, I love the fact that you used your imagination and you actually manifested. You said, I told myself I was going to be a great photographer. And not only that, you were going to be a great sports photographer.
Yes.
So that, again, early on, about what age were you at that point?
So I was in college.
Okay.
I was in college, and I thought, because I played sports, I loved it, but one thing I couldn't do, I'd never seen anybody taking pictures of us.
Oh, okay.
But I seen magazines, you seen the NBA, you seen the colleges, you seen everything, but you never seen young people getting their pictures taken by photographers.
Absolutely.
So that was something that stuck with me, and I was like, I never understood why nobody wanted to remember that history from us. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of like the driving factor that made, that was another thing. So I had the beginning of seeing the older people take pictures and having a moment of peace, and then they go right back into chaos, whatever they were doing.
Right. And
then I have the opportunity. I play sports, and I never seen cameras around. I had that consciously in my mind, like why aren't anybody taking our pictures?
Wow. And again, who else maybe would have even paid attention to that? So I'll tap into that a little bit. I looked up a quote by Albert Einstein, and he said, logic will take you from A to B, but your imagination will take you everywhere.
Yes.
So the fact that you were able to do that unencumbered, unhindered by the use of just your imagination. So he said it will knowledge. For knowledge is limited to what we know now and what we understand, while imagination embraces the entire world. That's a kind of another play on that.
Love it.
And you are indeed embracing the world, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. I'm going to take you to the point where we talked, and you said that at one point you saved up enough money to actually purchase a camera.
Yes.
And again, you said you had that dream in your mind for so long.
Yes.
And you gathered up and you saved your money and you bought a camera to take pictures. You had gone and looked at it, and someone kind of let you know, that camera's for sale. And you purchased that. And because you had manifested taking pictures, being a sports photographer, you had dreamed that big dream for so long. When you purchased it, you turned around and you looked, and there was an Indiana Pacer standing right behind you.
That's right.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Tell me about that.
So that's where the imagination really, really took flight, because I had seen this camera called a Nikon D50.
Okay.
I seen that camera in a magazine, and it said something about it being good for sports, if you had the right lens. So that was in my imagination the whole time. So I just always seen myself taking pictures of Pacers, because I love basketball. It's my favorite sport. So I seen myself taking pictures thousands of times. I was on the floor. I was in the stands. I was up high in the sky. I was everywhere taking pictures with this camera in my imagination. And I went to the store to actually put my hands on that camera. Just so I could feel it in my hands.
Yes.
And I got to touch it, and I was like, now it's real to me. Because the imagination, of course, it's an imagination.
Yes.
But when I went and put my hands on it, it was real in my imagination, but it became tangible when I touched it.
There you go.
Yeah. So
there you go.
Now I have this thing. Now my hunger is like on 100. 1,000.
Right.
So I want this camera so bad, but I have a family. I have things going on. I have to pay for things, so I can't. I'm literally giving a couple of cents to my savings, or $1 here, $5 there, $20 here. Well, the time passes. The time for me to go get this camera approaches. The appointment comes. A guy who seen me in the store a year before that.
Wow.
I don't know this guy. And he comes to me and he says, hey, man, remember that camera you were looking at? And I said, yeah, the D50. And he says, it's on sale right now. And the price that he said, I don't know if it was I can't remember the exact price, but he said, I had the money.
You had the exact amount of money.
I had enough to buy that camera, yes.
To buy that camera.
So I go to Cord Camera. Cord Camera doesn't exist anymore, but I go to Cord Camera and buy the camera. The guy's telling me all the details. It was wonderful. And then here comes Rick Carlisle, the Indiana Pacers coach. He walks in, and he's going to buy a travel camera. It's a little camera to go, for traveling and things like that, just for his family. So I'm just like, this is amazing because I've seen all this before. Yes. Oh. And the guy, everything was perfect because I went right at that time when he said it. It was just all perfect timing. So when I talked to the guy that sold me the camera, but then when Rick was there, I knew that he was there for me. Mm-hmm. I knew it. It was not a question in my mind because I've seen it probably hundreds of times in my imagination.
Wow.
So I talked to Rick and and the guy behind the counter, I told him I was a professional photographer because I had taken thousands of pictures in my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
I believed I was a professional. So I called things that are the way I believe they are.
Yes.
And,
you speak them into existence.
Yes. Yeah, I did my best interpretation of that. Yes. So I talked to him. The guy says, "You just bought this camera literally 5 minutes ago," and he tried to throw cast stones at me, but like a great Jedi, I just kind of wax on, wax off that, Miyagi-Do, got rid of that. So Rick, he laughed. The other guy laughed. I'm not laughing. I'm serious.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Rick, and I said, "No, I really want to do this. This is something I really want to do." And he took my number, and a lady from the Pacers called me. Oh. And I went in there, and it was amazing. I'm gonna tell you what I did. So I took these images in 2005. It was either 2005, 2006. Okay. I can't really remember the dates but I go in to my days saying, I'm going to be talking about this, and I need some evidence. What greater evidence can you have than an image or a printed picture? So I literally went out and found these images that I had taken back.
Wow.
These are the images that I actually took.
Wow, and we're looking at a wonderful photo album and some very high quality photos.
Yes.
As you as a sports photographer.
First time ever.
These are your first pictures?
With that camera, yes.
Oh my, wow.
This is the first thing I ever did once I got that camera. The first thing I shot with it was the Indiana Pacers.
Just as you had manifested in your mind.
Just what I've seen every day.
And I wish this is audio only, of course, but and maybe we'll get some information on how we can see some of those. But first time out, that means that you have been gifted to do what you're doing.
Exactly.
And persevere through, again, using the imagination for years, but you held tight to that.
Yes.
You held tight to that. And you had, like I said, you had some mentorship along the way to say it's okay to do that, just being patient and waiting. Fast forward.
Yes.
You were taking pictures. For a time, you were taking pictures of people's children with them playing sports, which was bringing in some income for you. But then you said in 2019, you were able to buy a used camera from Roberts.
Yes.
And of course, Roberts is, I think they are still downtown, have been for many years.
Yes.
So when you walked in and you got your hand on another camera, tell me about that.
So a wonderful time. It was a camera that I wanted. It was the next camera I wanted that I had seen in the magazines, a Nikon D3.
Okay.
Which was a camera they use in the Olympics.
Oh, my.
Sports,
okay.
So I said, okay, if they could take images with this in the Olympics, I need to get my hands on one of those. Because at the time, way back then, it was the top of the line. I knew I couldn't afford at the time that camera brand new.
Right.
So I went in and I got that actual camera, Nikon D3, after some imagination, after some writing some goals down, writing my vision and seeing myself with it, putting it on my vision board, looking at it every day.
Wow.
I went and got that camera and I just started having a...
Wow.
It just went crazy. Yeah.
Let me stop you just a split second. Young people, did you hear his vision board? Like cutting pictures out of magazines or newspapers or, whatever, and putting that visual in front of you, having maybe no idea how you will actually achieve that, but when you have that dream in front of you, put it wherever you brush your teeth in the morning so that you will see that. And you just knew you had no trepidation about the fact that one day that would happen. Mm-hmm. So walked into Roberts, got that camera, and you began to, continue taking pictures.
Yes.
But I love the part you said you were at the Pacers games taking pictures, and and you noticed there were some children sort of acting out a little bit. You said they were at the game, but they weren't in the game, and they weren't really causing trouble, but they were getting a little restless, and you could tell they were bored. And you actually asked the children to start helping you to take pictures.
Well, actually, that was at a high school game.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Yes,
okay.
yes. At the Pacer game, that was totally all me.
Right.
I was pretty selfish at that time.
Oh, no.
I was very selfish. It was something that
You were focused.
It brought me in. But this actually happened in the high school when
Excellent.
the kids were kind of
Kind of on the edge.
No parents, no supervision. They're kind of on the edge of testing limits.
Right,
I would
exactly.
say. Yeah.
Oh, and thank you for that correction.
Yes.
I want to make sure that I'm telling your story correctly. So getting me on the right road.
I appreciate you.
So you were at the high school game, and you said to them, "Hey, I need some help taking the pictures." And I remember you commenting and saying to the kids, "Well, I don't know how to do that." And you said, "I'll show you how."
I'll show you.
So what happened? What wonderment happened at that point?
So there was a kid, he was just very loud, and he was just, I don't know, it seemed like he needed some attention, so, and I got tired of listening to him, honestly, yelling and just being, so I went over to him and I asked him the question. I said, can you help me I need your help taking these pictures. I can't get both ends. He said, man, I don't know how to do that. And I said, listen, I'll show you. I'll demonstrate how to do it. I'll show you how to do it. You don't have to be perfect. I said, as long as you can put your finger up and look through this little hole right here and go like that, you're qualified to be a photographer.
Wow.
And he, for whatever reason, he said yes, and he came in, and I showed him, and he actually did pretty good. I didn't see him anymore after that, but that was the start of something beautiful for me.
And the start, because first of all, you asked him for his help.
Yes.
You recognized him as a person.
Yes.
And for what he was acting out for boredom or who knows why. But you made him a part of something that was happening, that was important in that moment.
Yes.
And who, like I said, you didn't see him later, but who, it would be interesting to know what turn that may have made in his life, just
Exactly.
asking for help. You're important. You can do this. It's easy. Wow. So you did that. And then from then on, that kind of planted a kind of a bug with you to give children cameras.
Yes.
You started giving children cameras.
Yes.
Tell me about the genesis of that.
So the beginning of that was I got to a point where I was pretty talented with photography,
Yes.
and I was a noted photographer. People would call me and ask me to do things for money. I got pretty good at it, and it just, one day I just had this epiphany. Like, I started having gray hair on my face, and I started thinking to myself, like, what does all this really mean, for me, and then I started thinking about legacy. Before even getting to that point, I had my children. I wanted to give all of my children. I had 5 children. I wanted to give all of my children this gift because I know it was a gift.
Wow.
It was given to me. I didn't earn it.
How wonderful.
I didn't ask for it. I mean, I did see those connections, but I think that was an implant from God to me, So I tried to give it to my children. They rejected it, of course. But
As children do.
Yes. So I went, inside of my mind, I just thought, like, what is this for? I started praying and asking questions. And once I got to this level of mastery, God said the next step is duplication. So I decided, once I got that communication, that I would duplicate myself.
Oh, my.
And I wanted to give. Now I wanted to give this away. But I did it all wrong. So I did it. What I was doing is I was going to Roberts. They have these cameras, that, and when they are first born and built, excuse me.
That's okay.
When they're born and built, they are very expensive. But technology doubles very fast.
Yes.
So the price goes down really, really fast on really good cameras. They're still great cameras, but the price is low because they have new technology.
Okay, so obsolescence.
Yes. So I would buy the cameras for, I would go to pawn shops and I would go to different places when I had extra money to buy cameras, and I would give those cameras away to young people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were, again, just planting that and letting that grow.
Yes.
And then you said you wandered upon, or somehow you had an intersection with your friend Dennis.
Yes.
And he had the gift of administration and had run nonprofits, and just, again, no coincidence, asked you, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You said, I'm giving away cameras. And he said, we have to do something with that.
Yes.
Tell me about that conversation.
So that was an amazing conversation. One, because I had already had a communication. I'm just a believer that you acknowledge God in everything.
Yes.
I acknowledge God going to the restroom,
Yes.
going to the gas station, getting on the highway, getting off. I see myself getting on the highway and getting off, not just getting on the highway.
Exactly.
So I already had the communication that, that I was going somewhere with this, but I didn't know. I never know how, and I just know that how will always show up on its own. I just know that it's going to show up. So I go to this event, taking pictures of great basketball players again, which is my favorite thing to do, at the Hall of Fame, the inductees.
Wow.
So we were there, and they were passing out food. So we were just sitting down talking, and he asked me the question, "What are you doing?" And I told him what I was doing. I'm handing out cameras to kids and giving them information. And when I see them in passing again, I will say, hope you're still using the camera. And he just looked at me and he said, "Nah, we got to do something with that because this is not." Because like I said before, he has the spirit of administration, which I do not have. Emails, hey, if you want to communicate with Darnell, you might want to send me a text or call me or tap me on the shoulder. But he has that spirit of administration. And I have a friend who helped me in the game, kind of a mentor to me. His name is David Dixon. So we all come together, and we decided that we would call this thing 100 Cameras, 100 Kids. And it was not even a long period of time after that connection. We started it maybe a few weeks after that.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe a month later goes past, and then we start running with it. And now we're at cohort 5, and we have exactly 100 right now. So we've done 20, 18, and then this last cohort we have 22, which makes it 100 cameras.
Oh my goodness!
Which was the vision that I seen in 2019. I actually had the vision, so I was using my imagination like always, and I don't even know why this flickered into my mind at all. So I'm looking up in the sky, but I can see myself. So I can see myself holding a camera, and I can see a bunch of kids around me. And they had cameras, but we were looking. I don't know how the guy or the lady got the picture, but it was shooting from the sky down in my imagination.
Wow.
And I seen a sign, 100 cameras. That's what I seen. So that they asked me, so I said, that's what it is.
That was what you had manifested.
In my mind, 2019.
Wow. And that's what came to fruition.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So now we have it where we're going to get that image. We're going to get our 100 cameras, 100 kids together.
Right.
And we're going to take that image, except I'm going to have Dennis and David in there as well.
To do that. Oh, see, and again, 100 children whose direction in their life has been impacted. They may or may not become photographers, but they know they've learned a skill.
Yes.
They've learned collaboration. They've learned teamwork. They've learned to ask questions.
Yes.
They know to be heard. All the things that come from that. And of those 100 children, how many other hundreds and perhaps even hundreds of thousands will be impacted by that vision that you had?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. I think about an apple seed, how it becomes an apple tree, and then how it becomes an apple orchard. And if you don't mess with it, it can become an apple tree forest. If we don't mess with it, it can just keep on. And it never stops. So everything that we do, there's never, I always tell the young people, you can't catch improvement. It's always a step ahead of you, improvement, because you can be a billionaire and you can still make another penny. So you can never, ever surpass improvement, the level of your mindset. So we have unlimited potential to do anything visually, orally, whatever.
Right.
So it's just an amazing thing that I get to be a part of.
And again, I was reading statistically, about a third of our young people are not involved in a structured organization. That doesn't have to be an established organization, but involved in something in which they can receive mentorship and guidance. And that may be, if you don't have a purpose, you don't have a goal, if it's not been identified or someone is in the process, you may wander down the wrong road. I'm not saying that's always the case. But when you, again, one individual, and you've touched those lives, and you have gotten them involved, and you said, I love how you said, manifest, be a star in your own movie. You've made them stars in their own movie. So to me, I just want to put that out again, because the core, at the very core of A Better Way Road is options, choices, moving in a direction that's going to enhance your life. And you're not saying it, you're not doing it. You're not just saying it, you are actually doing it. So I love the fact that you said, and I wrote this quote down, you said in your prayers, you ask God, if there is a photographer in heaven, would I be good enough to be one? And that you received the answer back, yes. Yes. So that was, I'm trying not to choke up or tear up about it, but that's wonderful. Yeah. So that speak to me on that, but that says to me, you making sure that you're at the top of your game and that you have the level of expertise that would be pleasing to him. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, just like that, people ask me all the time, like, you love photography because of sports? I say, yeah, I mean, I love that it was a gift. But the main connection to photography for me was that relationship with God, because our private conversation became something that I could talk about on the podcast now. It became reality, and he gave me, it was the firmest confirmation that you can receive from a father, was doing exactly what I asked for. He gave me exactly what I asked for. He didn't give me a date or a time or anything. All I remember is reading in the Bible where it says, write the vision and make it plain. Though it tarry, it will surely come to pass. So I knew that it was going to come to pass based on what was written, because one thing he can't do is lie. So that's how, my mind has always been like that. Some of my friends say, you must be an alien because you just believe weird stuff,
An alien.
Like, yeah. I say, no, we all the same. Yeah. It's a choice. Yeah. I made a choice to believe that greater is he that's in me.
Yes.
And then I go inside to, get information. I don't go out looking for information in different places, because it doesn't make sense for me to be trying to find something that's for me outside of me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm a complete. Everybody is, I believe.
Yes.
That was my connection to God, and it's like we have a great relationship because I know what I asked for, especially when I'm helping young people and giving them something to live for. It's just an amazing thing.
Yeah, just to be a part of that.
It's like, if you don't believe in God, that's cool, but if you have a relationship, then I have a relationship.
Yes.
He listens to me. Like, these images were so hard to find. I haven't seen these in so long. It was a long, long time since I've seen these images, and I'm like, I need these images because I want the evidence and the proof.
Yes.
Of the date, because these guys, this
happened.
This is Ron Artest right here.
Yes.
This is real.
That's your work.
This happened, and this is mine.
That's your work.
Yeah.
Like you took that snap. Yeah. That moment in time, just like going back to those smiles.
Yeah.
If only for a second.
Yeah.
It brought peace, it brought joy. You captured a moment in time.
Yeah. And I had to talk to God to find these, because I went through many, many, many tubs and crates and all kinds of stuff looking for these. And I said, I need these images, Father.
Right.
And you know where it's at.
Like, where are they?
Where is it at?
And then
what I did was I asked, and then I went to work. Faith without work is dead. And I just said, I'm going to keep on looking until I find them. I'm going to keep looking, and I know you're going to help me because you want me to show this stuff.
Exactly.
You want me to tell this real story.
Yes.
And you get all the glory. That's what I want.
Wow. And see, again, this was early in your career, so I can imagine the number of pictures. And like I said, we try to be organized and put things and put dates or whatever, but you had it tucked back. So what was it like when you found them?
I just said, thank you.
Yes.
I just said thank you because I knew I was going to. I knew. I mean, there was exactly where they were going to be, but I had to do all of my. It had to be hard for whatever reason. But
right.
I'm moving totes. I got stuff everywhere. I have to go home and clean up stuff.
Right.
because I wanted to make sure that you seen this with your eyes.
Yes, with my own eyes.
Yeah.
And we'll share that. But I have found when I am looking for something and it's difficult, I run up on other things that I had forgotten about, maybe a card or a letter or a note, or so it's kind of a journey. It's a little bit frustrating, but you ponder upon these things that had been tucked back that were supposed to come back to the light.
Yes.
For a little bit of time. But I love that you said God is a comedian. He kind of has a sense of humor about that.
Yeah.
So
Definitely, if God is not a comedian, I will be shocked.
yeah, exactly.
When I get back home, I'll be shocked.
We will be shocked.
Because
Exactly.
he is, man.
Yeah, he
Yes.
brings us that joy to make us laugh at ourselves.
Yes.
Well, moving forward a little bit, what kind of things do you have planned for the children? Events, things, kind of exposing this wonderful art to the world.
Yes, so what we're looking at now. So the vision, I have 19 notebooks full of documentation that I have written over the years.
Yes.
Just for the 100 Cameras, 100 Kids.
Okay.
And we've barely scratched the surface of just one of the quotes inside of the notebook. So the main goal is to let young people and parents know that there is a way to give their young people an experience with photography, just so that they can see that, that they can do something. Like, a lot of young people, they hear all the time, you're going to be no good, or you can't do anything. You're going to be like your dad, like your mom. You're bad at this. You're an F student.
Right.
Well, I can bring you to an environment, into a world where none of that matters. And you can freeze time. You can freeze moments, and you can actually serve people in a very high level, in humanity. So it's just an amazing thing to be able to offer photography to young people as an experience, not as a teacher.
Right.
But here, grab this machine. Now it's a part of you. And you can do with this what you want. You can be a hobbyist. You can be a person that just does it for therapeutics.
Yes.
Or you can be a person that does it because you want to make some money, which is where we're going next.
Exactly.
We're giving the young people, a way to earn money with it.
I love that you are planting seeds for entrepreneurship.
Yes.
You can monetize your art and earn an income from that.
Yes.
That's,
absolutely.
And again, it may or may not end up ultimately in photography, but they've learned those business skills, those business fundamentals early on.
Yes.
So you plant that. So it's to me, it's much more far-reaching than kind of like when you put your finger in the water, the pond, and it just emanates out further. I see absolutely wonderful things happening. In my mind, I'm envisioning exhibits. I've been envisioning, sponsorship through people who are inspired by the pictures. I even see. I was speaking with Jalen, who brought your name to me.
Okay.
And she said music was a way for her to cope, to actually to get through some rough periods. I see that as a very personal outlet for some young people to be able to express how they're feeling.
Yes.
Maybe the words, they don't feel comfortable or don't have the words, don't recognize the words yet, but they've got that camera. Mm-hmm. They've got that, and with that camera brings power.
Yes.
In a positive place. So,
yes.
I'm just over the moon. When I first heard about this, I thought, oh my gosh. For you to have the vision, for you to care, for you not to keep it under a rock or keep it hidden, and that intersection with your friend. I love how you say that administration is not my gift, but it is his. Well, of course, he may not be a great photographer. So,
Well, actually, he's pretty good at.
Is he really good?
He's
Okay.
a videographer. He teaches videography to students. So,
I'll take that.
But I'm gonna tell you something too. I'm gonna tell you something. He wasn't the first person I told.
Oh, okay.
You know how you throw some seeds?
Sure.
Some will grow, some won't grow.
Sure.
Most of the seeds did not grow that I cast. And that's my fault.
Sure.
Because God, all of God's stuff grows. So it was my fault. But here's the thing I didn't do. I didn't stop talking about it was the thing. I didn't stop because I believed that what I was doing is good. Mm-hmm. I know it's good because it was a gift to me.
Yes.
So I told many, many, many people. Now they are coming back around full circle. The people I told about this years ago, now they're introducing their children to the concept of maybe coming into the program. And, now we have a waiting list of young people waiting to come in. So we need the sponsorship. We know we have different people who are doing things, and we have what's called Kicks for Clicks coming up.
Okay.
Where professionals and celebrities have signed shoes that are going to be auctioned so that we can afford to buy more cameras.
And that's part of your fundraising effort.
Yep, that's coming out. Yeah, we're doing that in October. Yeah.
This is a perfect time for, let me get contact information. If people want to sponsor or want to help with that fundraising, how is the best way, or what is the best source of contact for you?
That's it'd probably just be through my email right now,
okay,
honestly.
Sure.
And then I can forward the information to our administrator.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable sharing that with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
I would
sure.
love to. Yeah.
And what is your email?
My email is darnell@darnellscott.com.
Okay.
2 L's and 2 T's.
2 T's, I was just going to say.
Darnell@darnellscott.com.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, that's my business email, so I want the world to have it.
Wow. And Darnell, D-A-R-R.
DARNELL.
1 R.
Yep.
1 R, 2 L's.
Yep.
There you go. And say that one more time for me.
Darnell@darnellscott.com.
Okay.
Yep.
Got that. So that's, we've got some angel contributors out there that are waiting and looking for a place to put their money and to put their time. And what better way with children?
Crime prevention at its highest.
Yes.
Crime
Absolutely.
prevention at its highest point, because, like, when I listen to people talk about helping young people not commit crime, they always say this program is about this, and ending gun violence. But the last thing that the children hear is the first thing. So we are talking about the thing that we're trying to destroy.
Absolutely.
And if you talk about the thing you're trying to destroy, now if you have a kid that's in an environment where there's gun violence, he's surrounded by criminal activity. So the only thing that's going to be magnetized to him is gun violence. The last thing he heard or she heard, So what I say is, why are we talking about gun violence? Why aren't we talking about giving them something to do that is overshadowing, that casts the bright light on that shadow, so we can see that gun violence will put me in prison, put me in a box, take me away from my family, So we don't talk about crime and crime prevention and gun violence, and we don't talk about none of that stuff. What we do is we give them something bigger to focus their energy on. So if you're doing this, then you're not doing that. And if you know better, you do better.
Well,
so we don't want to. It's completely about crime prevention, giving the young people something they can do with their mind, with their hands, with their energy to create media. They can be like, in 2024, anybody can be a media company. Any kid can be a media company because of the internet.
True.
Every kid can be a media.
True.
You need a camera, a pen, paper, computer, internet access. You can go to any Starbucks and get to the internet.
Wow.
And wherever they have internet.
Right, exactly.
So it's wonderful, to know that we're helping kids not think about crime, but to think about the next time that their peer is going to click on their Instagram and say, I like this image. Thank you for taking this image of me. Leaving positive comments. This is great. Thank you. Man, your work is dope. Or, and these kids are, all those hits of positive from their peers. Then I teach them there's going to be some people out there that are going to, regardless of how great you are, they're going to try to tear you down. Like the guy at the camera store, he tried to tear my dream, my vision down.
Epic
in
fail.
2 minutes. He tried to tear it down. It didn't work. So I give them the all of that. We're not talking photography for 20 minutes every single time when we meet on Saturdays. We are talking about something life connected, and it's funny and it's humorous and it's educational, and the kids do not want me to stop talking when I'm talking. Now the adults sometimes want me to stop talking. They try to handcuff me with the time.
Right.
But the kids are like, I want to hear this.
Yes.
No, I want more of that. So it's wonderful, that we can do this with the photography, with something that is not very hard. I mean, every kid is, if you have a finger and an eyeball, and you can hold a camera, you can be a photographer. So once you push that button, kid, you are a photographer.
Wow.
once you push that one click, and you have just opened up a whole new world for
Wow.
yourself.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's wonderful.
And see, and the word photography, photography came from France, and it means light writing.
Yes.
So you are writing light into the world
Yes.
with whatever vision, whatever
Yes.
visual you're creating. Oh, I am so happy for the intersection that has been made here today.
Thank you.
And I earnestly pray that folks will hear this and understand that manifest, dream big, dream in color. Don't worry about the how-to. Share that with people you feel comfortable with, because there will be plenty of naysayers. But do that in your young life. Find your purpose, find your passion. We say that over and over and over again. And people will meet you. You will attract the people to you, like-minded folks. So, 'cause
Absolutely.
that's, I mean, and there's just no better way. Be the star in your own movie. I think that of all the things we've said, that was one of my most favorite quotes.
Yeah.
So, well, I thank you for your time today. I am enriched. I am enlightened. I'm going to go and find my camera and maybe blow a little dust off of
Hey,
it.
come on. You're always welcome. You're always welcome.
And get a couple of visuals, because there is nothing quite like capturing a moment.
Yes.
And sharing that. Not unlike singing. Someone said you agree with hundreds of people that you don't know. You come into agreement, come into
Yes.
accord with them. So, well, I will always end by saying, until the next time we are together, I urge you to merge onto a better way road. And we just thank you so much, Darnell Scott, for what you're doing and what you will do.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and thank you for your organization.
Yes.
All righty.